Hey there everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be looking at how you can get A star in IGCSE using ChatGPT and AI. And I'm going to share you guys my personal experience based on how I used it and the results I got in the May June 2025 series. And I really apologize for not being active in the past few months because I just started AS level and it's been quite hectic. So without any further ado, let's get started. So first of all, I would really recommend that you use ChatGPT to explain MCQs that you don't understand. For example, over here, let's say I chose a random MCQ that I had trouble understanding. So I simply put it in ChatGPT and then it explains everything to me on why this is the correct answer and the others are wrong. And if you still don't understand, then you can always ask for follow-up and ask it to explain it in a way that you understand it. Now, this is really helpful because sometimes your teachers may not reply to you instantly. They'll take quite a long time. So by that time, you forget what the question was and what you were thinking at that time. So when you use ChatGPT or any other AI, it really helps with that. Now, also, I would add that confirm the answer with the mark scheme because ChatGPT is not 100% correct in the explanations it gives. So I'll always say that check the answer with mark scheme. Moving on, use ChatGPT to explain concepts you don't understand. For example, I went here and then I said, explain everything I need to know about the Hubble constant for IGCSE Physics 0625. Now, what I've done here is that I've told it to explain every single thing about the topic and for IGCSE Physics 0625. Now, you can make it even more specific so that it gives you everything. You can say that based on the syllabus for 2026 or something like that, and then it will explain everything to you. Now, this would be in a kind of summarized form. So if you have a question regarding anything, for example, this thing, you can ask ChatGPT about this specific thing and then ask it to explain it. And then you can also ask it to give you a few sample questions based on that. Now, the problem is that there are some diagrams and then graphs that ChatGPT cannot itself generate and explain. So you will have to look at that a bit on yourself. But I highly recommend you use it to understand concepts, especially bigger concepts that you don't understand. Ask it to break it down into smaller things so that you can get it. Moving on, use it to create questions and then ask it to mark. Now, I use this a lot a few days before my ICT paper, and I can recommend that you use this for other subjects as well, but especially ICT. So what I did was I told it to create a mock paper for me based on the topics, or I in like gave it the whole syllabus, and I told it to create a mock paper for me. It should be 2 hours, and then the total mark should be 80. Then it created it for me. So I did all of this online, but you can print it and do it however you like. I put it in a Google Doc. The question was there, and then I'll add my answer there. Then it will continue again and again. And then when I'll repeat it, then I'll change the color and then write what I missed or what I could have written else over here. Now I could have opened this and showed you the whole thing, but I can't find the document. I only have a screenshot. Now I'll suggest you do this a lot for ICT because ICT can be a bit vague sometimes, so highly recommend that. Now, I also want to show you guys, okay, one more thing for ICT that I used it was for definitions. I created a list of all the definitions using ChatGPT and they were pretty accurate. Just tell it to use it to the questions from like use the answers for previous question and then try to do it. Then I also asked it to like create some definitions I might know for questions that will come in my paper and then answered them. So highly recommend you do that as well. Now coming to English. I highly recommend you use ChatGPT for English because it helped me personally a lot. Let me show you how I did it. So usually, I went through every single paper that was there, paper one, or usually I did use paper two, and then I found all the prompts that were there. So it was write a story about this, and then these were the predictions, like these were the story prompts with required phrases that it created for me that could come from my this thing, and then I gave it this predictions and then I told it to create storylines for me. Then I would first try and use those storylines, for example the beginning, middle, like this, and then try and create a story in my mind, and then I'll tell it to try and create stories with that. So then this is the format I usually told it to follow based on what is given in the mark scheme. So you can have a look at this, and then it wrote these things for me. Now I didn't directly copy paste these into my exam and wrote it, but what I used it was for to see how I can start it, how I can put the phrases in my story, and then to improve my vocabulary. Because as much as you read, that's how better your this thing would be, and then it would give the marks that it gave for this thing. Then I told it to write it in 5 paragraphs based on how I wanted it to be. Now this is just one of it. Then I did it a lot. So like I gave it the mark scheme. This is where the mark scheme was, and then I gave it everything. And then it wrote a lot of me these things for me. So I read a lot of them. So, and then lucky for me, one of the stories that I had learned, and then I'd memorized a few just in case it came, and then that one exactly came for my paper too. And that helped me get the marks I got. Now I'll tell you guys my story of how my English paper went in a later video. But then if I hadn't done that, then I probably wouldn't have gotten the marks I got. So I think that's all for this video. I'm sure there's more, and I'll probably cover that in another video. But that's all for this one. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to get the A star that you deserve. Till then, see you in the next video. Ta-da.